Good time zone chat. How's everybody doing? Let's see here. I know I've got a camera to adjust. Obviously, I was a little behind today. Usually when I'm a little behind, there's a camera to adjust. Hey, Dynasty, welcome. Good to see you. Come on. There it is. All right, then. Still a little high on the screen, though. All right. Welcome, welcome. I'm coordinating some ticket purchases. Got Spoon announced a tour. I knew they would. The new album, was waiting for the tour announcement, and it came. And happily, it does not conflict with any other tickets I've already bought, so I'm going to try to go see Spoon in Seattle in mid-September. Interpol opening, that'll be fun. Hello, Hat. What's going on, Rob? Rob, you hurt my feelings yesterday. I'm pretty tough-skinned, but I do appreciate an audience that's rooting for me. I don't expect it on Gauntlet days. On Gauntlet days, as you wish. But if you pray for the worst thing that could happen to me in a game of Magic to happen, and then cackle when it happens, it's not fun for me anymore. My feelings are hurt, and I don't like it. And if you do that again, I'm just gonna time you out indefinitely and just say, see ya. Because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for good times with people on my side. And if that's petty, I'm petty. Good time zone, Tron. Welcome. How's it going, Timber? Yeah, we got interesting choices today between Dominaria and the Chaos Sealed. I did a Chaos Sealed in a different account last night, and I was like, "What's this? Oh, this is fun. You know, it's cheap. It's Phantom. It's Chaos. A good little event." I appreciate the Wizards' touch on April Fools today, which has just kind of been googly eyes. Oh, they took them off? Did they already undo it? Huh, interesting. Last night there was googly eyes and everything. I don't know. Maybe they'll still be here on other stuff and they didn't put them on these. But April Fools is a weird time. You, as a content creator, you got to figure out if you're leaning into it in any way, shape, or form, and if so, what your tone and approach is going to be. It's a fine time for playful, everybody gets to laugh type experiences, but people so often do April Fools wrong. Yeah, just little jokes are fine. You know, that's cute and fun. I like that, but just don't do it wrong. I was on avatars, so maybe if we go, yeah, there we go. There's the googly eyes. That's cute. That's fine. The googly eyes are like the 69 of jokes. You know, it's just like, it's easy, it's funny, and it's pretty harmless. Keep going down the list here. Tron, you're welcome, Tron. Tron won a game of Limited in which somebody attempted to use the first eruption I didn't design that card for limited. It's kind of funny when you are a limited fanatic, get a chance to design Magic cards for a set and kind of come up with a couple of constructed cards. If you look at my two most notable designs are three. My three most notable designs are all really constructed swings. I would say Chromanticore is a commander swing, and it is of sorts, but it would be better if it were legendary and people could use it as a Wooburg commander. There's just no room on the type line. But if I could have gotten Chromanticore as a legend, whoo, that card would be popular. That'd be like a serious commander and stuff. Oh well. Words are long, it turns out. So anyway, there's that one. There's the First Eruption, which is more of a storytelling card. It's not even a swing at constructed. It's a swing at evocative top-down design. And then the less evocative top-down design and more straight swing at constructed was Temporal Trespass. 1,000,000 blue, delve, time walk. I don't even remember what the 1,000,000 is now. Is it 8? 8 blue. Can you really take credit for designing a time walk? I mean, I'm the one who came up with that variant, I guess, but it's not it's like classic, you want to do some Magic card design? Take a new mechanic, or take the mechanic that you're working with your set and start slapping it against iconic cards and seeing what you can make. There you go. Yeah, I love Interpol, and I mean, Spoon is, as I've said, near the top. I think Elbow's at the top. Elbow, Spoon, and Cake are like the top 3 bands that I enjoy the most who are actively touring that I've never seen. And I'm hoping to get 2 out of 3 taken care of this year between Spoon and Cake. I have Cake tickets right now. Cake ticket in hand, figuratively. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I don't, where does it use set codes at all? Is it in the deck importing or whatever? It's possible. Sometimes early on that it, like in the building, you're guessing at set codes before it's abundantly clear. You often learn the name of a new set in the building before you learn its set code. It's possible somebody just early in coding guessed wrong at what the official set code was going to be, and then because it's all under the hoodish type stuff, didn't care to adjust. I don't know. That's weird. Good Time Zone Radianware. What's up, Siriana? Good for stipulation drafts? Sure, that's a good excuse for one, I suppose. Stipulation drafts, as I've always said, are actually a very tough design to land. The key of a good stipulation draft, a good stipulation for a draft, leaves the player some choice, pick to pick, but makes it awkward and interesting and funny. And too often, either it gets prescriptive and the player... The rule drafts the deck instead of the player, or it's not doing enough. Like the player just gets to draft, and there's just occasional pepperings of things they have to do. So anyway, stipulation drafts are hard to pull off, but we can do it. Brandon Sanderson in that Kickstarter is something else. Good on him. That's a hardworking man who is reaping the rewards of hard work. And so are we. Fans are going to be reaping the rewards of his hard work, too. I got the whole thing. I got the most expensive option on the Sanderson Kickstarter in the end, because I feel that well, first it's going to provide, like, it's for me and both my children. We all want different parts of it, so My son's going to get the hardcovers. I get all the digital stuff, and we split up the swag. But what, I mean, he shattered all the Kickstarter records. And that's a lot of faith from fans as well. I mean, there you are, submitting real US dollars for a thing that technically might not exist. Technically, actually, kind of what I hope is that Sanderson doesn't have 4 new novels written. He just printed up All Work and No Play Makes Jack a Dull Boy 4 times really thick and presented those as his new books. And really, he just is trying to set up this incredible Kickstarter, and he's headed to Mexico. He's done. He's out. This has all been a setup for this particular con. Because that's the thing. It's like there's not a lot of people in the world I would commit that much money to for Kickstarter where things aren't guaranteed. Generally, my philosophy of Kickstarter is be willing to kiss that money goodbye. You are voting. You're trying to vote this thing into existence, and you hope you do it. But, you know, but when it comes to people like Sanderson, you just can expect that that they're going to deliver. Oh, talking about new pro stuff. The only thing I know, I looked at one tweet of someone involved in it saying, "I'm so happy to announce the return of the Pro Tour." And then I glanced at the pyramid that was included. That's it. That's all I know. But let me say, I'm thrilled that William Jensen is making decisions on that front for Wizards. I think they made a smart choice there to bring in someone like Jensen to lead the ship. And I just hope it's a return to something that I can glom onto better. I know that high level Magic has continued. I know that top players have prepared for tournaments and sweat the results. I mean, one only needs to listen to limited resources to listen to the ups and downs that Luis has experienced in the last couple years of competitive Magic. So it's not like there's been nothing, but it's also been clear that we've lost the thread a bit, and I don't know where to look exactly, and I don't know what to care about exactly, and it doesn't map to what I understood in the past exactly. So even though it's been there, it's been very tough to love. And I'm glad they're attempting to return to something that at least feels more familiar to us Magic boomers. Maybe newer Magic players don't really give a crap about the exact structure of the competitive scene, but it means a lot to me to have something that feels like it was before, a nice structured set of tournament expectations that they would deliver on each time. And, you know, as a sports fan and as someone who, you know, your sports need to change and evolve, and we see sports changing rules and all the time and everything, but consistency through time is also important to sports for achievements to matter, for comparing today's players to yesterday's players and for tomorrow's players. The more that the playing field is the same, the more that you can compare across eras and that kind of thing. So I like a consistent thread, and for them to dip back to try and find that thread back to the way it was, I think is what a lot of us were asking for, even if in a sense they were trying to offer it in a little bit more of a convoluted way and in different packages, but the packaging matters. So I like repackaging it in something I'm familiar with. Yeah, it was funny, Vargan, the meeting in which that card got designed, in which I proposed it. We were trying to fill a mythic blue slot, and I was like, "What about?" I said, "What about a Delve Time Walk?" And I think it was it might have been Ian I can't remember who, but somebody chuckled and was like, "You'd have to make it like blue, blue, blue." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay." Okay, and then like we worked out the numbers, and it's like, "Yep, blue, blue, blue. Just make it minimum 3." Well played, Hat. The books are on the blockchain, he yelled as he rugged the world. You're awfully comfortable with that slang there, buddy. How much are you in for? To the moon. Right? To the moon. Oops. I was trying to go play this one.
Oh no, please! I can't read your crazy moon language!
Exactly, Siriana. Of course, Sanderson has earned the reputation and credit to get my money in advance. He has literally never let me down. So, take my money. Hey, Oil Can, welcome. Oh yeah, I saw Prof was doing a Kickstarter that seems to be wildly successful too, but I think it's for gear I don't particularly need, but I should take a look. I don't mind supporting Prof at any rate. I think he's a great member of our community. It leaves a bit of gap where GPs used to be, but there's room for the regional orgs to make GP-type events. Okay. So kind of, well, GPs were kind of outsourced anyway, so kind of a rethink of exactly how and who GPs are being outsourced to and how that looks. Okay. Yeah, that's a key factor, right? Radianware, that's the pyramid part that I was looking at. It's one thing for there to be competitive Magic in existence. It's another thing for me to understand how I could get there if I was good enough and lucky enough, right? And I think people definitely lost the thread on that. Wait, what do I do? It used to be a pro tour qualifier. That is a 3-word phrase I understand inherently. I can qualify for the pro tour. And that easy distinction kind of slipped away, and it was like, how do I get, I don't know. And yeah, even if you're never realistically going to participate on the pro tour, there's something very valuable about understanding how it could happen. And understanding that there is a path for you and for other people, that you understand how it works. Siriana with the correct goals. Pick friends from boot heels. Yes, line goes up. We'll teach you some phrases, huh? Jopester, I recognize your name. I feel like you've commented on some videos, or at the very least, yeah, your name leaps out. Or have you been here before? This isn't your first time here, is it? Or maybe it is. In any case, your name rings a bell, friend. Welcome. Glad you are able to join live for a bit. I'll take it, and it'll be good to have you around. Hello, Belgium. I don't know if you can hear that, but the mini fridge is back. I dug the mini fridge out of the garage and hooked it up, so I've got sodas near my desk again. Hey, Gar, welcome. I will give you a blah while you give me direction on what we want to do today. We'll see how long everything takes here, but we basically got this sealed. I'm going to call that chaos because it's a phantom chaos grab bag draft, 6 random boosters, and that can be super fun to mix it up that way a bit, or we can draft Dominaria. I'm going to DOM that. Dominaria is a fan favorite, and I have design credits on Dominaria, so it's got a place in my heart, of course. And it's not a perfect draft format. It's actually got some flaws. If you gave me some time to work with it, I think I could make it even better. I think we've seen even better. I think a lot of modern sets have kind of learned the lessons of what made Dominaria excellent and fixed the problems of where it suffered. So we're getting a lot of sets where you can do cool Dominaria like late game stuff, but there's enough pressure from aggro that it's not just a gimme that's what you're going to do. So I appreciate how Dominaria really paved the way for the continued improvement of Modern Limited. Even if it's not perfect, it taught R&D a lot of good lessons. It looks like everybody wants to check it out, so I'm in. Jokester, I was in this one for more like of the design credits I have, it's actually one that has the least touch from me. The way they were doing design teams at the time was that there was a rotating design spot. They try out a lot of different things with the secret sauce for making magic. And one, I don't know if they're still doing it, but what they were doing at the time was saying there was almost like a 2 to 4 week rotating slot, kind of a fresh eyes slot, and bring in somebody generally not from an R&D. And a designer especially. There's many designers in the building that aren't specifically in R&D. So try to bring someone with design chops, whether they're officially a designer or not, somebody with design chops, bring them onto the team for a cup of coffee, get their fresh eyes, fresh takes, and then pull them and bring somebody else in. And so I got design credit on Dominaria for being in that role, whereas the other stuff I did design credit for Wizards, I was on the team start to finish, so I was in it for much longer. But I was on the Dominaria team long enough to offer my feedback and design a cool saga, I guess. So there you go. Yeah, if you are going to play aggro in Dominaria, it's because you've got 2+ copies of Run Amok. You're probably, ideally, you're red-blue wizards with multiple copies of Run Amok, but base red Run Amok is where you want to be if you're going to try to aggro this format. So let's give... Oh, I know when we go back, I don't think I turned off the README meme, so I'm going to go back to that and turn it off. Oh, I did. Look I turned it off. Yay, me.
Is today's hectic lifestyle making you tense and impatient?
Shut up and get to the point!
Yeah, if you can get it, mono red works. Usually a touch of another color is going to be better, just because flexibility and power for pretty low opportunity cost, just a little bit of stress on your mana. But monocolored mana unlimited is very nice. Never being color screwed is a real upside. A lot of my Dominaria drafting was done during bot eras of Arena, which is another way that this set is a little miscolored by people's memory if you were someone playing a lot of Arena back then. Because everybody could be the long game control deck in that world, right? So you just let the bots take all the red cards, and it was a sea of controlish decks. Somebody's got to take the aggro cards here. Somebody's got, I think red is the worst color. White is the second worst color. And Sultai, long game Sultai control is where I want to be here. But I've won plenty with white decks and plenty with red decks. The question is, what's your plan when you end up in those lanes? With red, it tends to be aggro, but I also have had sometimes success with green-red kicker. Green-red kicker can do some work. Nantuko, how you doing, bud? Welcome back. Doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Goblin Barrage. Starting with a red card, we could do that. We got Arvad the Cursed and the Glorious Rebirth. There's a real legendary theme here in black-white that would be interesting. You could probably take the Arvad and try and wheel this, but that's fancy play to the extreme. I think you just want the Barrage here or the Sap Herd. The Sap Herd is totally good, but yeah, blue. This is not where I want. Color-wise, this is not where I want to start. I kind of like black. Black is generally my favorite place to start because my favorite colors are black-green and black-blue are the favorite color pairs. So starting in black lets me pivot to either of those. Although really, even green, blue, splash black is doable. But there, I just didn't think there was nothing worth chasing in blue. The blue cards there just weren't good. I don't even remember what they were anymore. Sulphur Falls, practically what I want to take here. This is another crappy pack. There's 4 blue cards, none of them particularly exciting. Befuddle is the most playable of the 4. No, yeah, Snapper's fine, but I actually would probably have first Befuddle over first Snap. They're about the same. Snapper, I like if you're doing the flying aura thing. You throw a flying aura on this and it's a real threat. Yeah, but it's a combo card, right? And you don't need a million of them. But like I'd almost rather have first Grun over first Snapper. Like Snapper is good and Grun is good in a way that's like you got to answer this. I'm going to do this. I appreciate your response, Rob. You are forgiven, and I'm just being emotionally honest with you. And what? Oh, this isn't the wrath. I know what you meant, but that's why I just had to tell you how I was actually feeling, so that next time we're on the same page and having fun together. Yes. Eviscerate. I think I just like this straight removal spell over the complicated demon. This is interesting, but in my experience, there's a lot of ways to deal with a token, and Eviscerate is one of them. I'd rather just have the removal. Like, really, my plan in this format is recur removal, win games, recursion for victory. So, like, to that end, I want Memorial to Folly. Mesa Unicorn is good for white 2-drops, especially if you are a little bit aggro side white. But Memorial to Folly on that recursion front is great. Yeah, also quite splashable. Good call, Jopester. This thing I always thought this had flying. I don't know. It's up there in the clouds. I see that its feet are on the ground, but somehow this was one of those cards that when I thought it had flying, it seemed busted. But without flying, it's just annoying, and I'd actually rather have Chronicler here. This is what I say in recurring value. This is a format about recurring value. Taking red cards. Right now, Chronicler and Barrage are red control cards, which, and Jund is another lane I've found myself in to some decent success in the format. Rob, I have had the worst week at Neo, which is maybe one of the reasons why I didn't take your efforts at Fun so well on Wednesday. It's just the format's been really the variant. It's just I just got to get over it. It's just in a sense it's just the variance, but man, it's been brutal. Cloud Reader Sphinx still here is pretty signally. I love the Soul Salvage. I love the Cloud Reader. I really love the fixing. Sultai fixing is so great. Fire Intervention, totally playable. Sorcery Speed, we don't like that as much. But Cloud Reader is great and the kind of where I want to be in general. So if it's going to be there this late, we'll see if there's something going on with blue that we need to pay attention to. A lot of red here, none of it great. Aven Sentry, best card in the pack. Skizik, playable in red, but not actually that impressive. This was a rare in Invasion, but as is classic with old school creatures, even the rare ones weren't that great. Yeah, fun, right? But maybe we take it just because I with Barrage, Chronicler, and the format's general feeling about red, I think we take the Skizik, but it's a color choice, not a power choice. It was not the most powerful card in the pack. Speaking of not powerful cards, what is even the right play here? This is where, well, again, I should be happy that if I am going to be a red drafter, that the table seems to be giving it up. Overseer is like almost a grown test card in that you feel like you shouldn't lose to it, but then sometimes they tap out for 7 and you lose to it. So I'm going to take that, but the Raider is another interesting option. Wizard's Retort still here. I believe Deep Freeze and Wizard's Retort were the only 2 blue cards in the opening pack. Lava Runner totally plays in the blue-red Wizard deck, but I'm thinking of taking the Retort here to try and find the Wizard lane if the table is going to have it open. But yeah, maybe it should still be Lava Runner. I've let it time out to Retort. I'm not sure about that pick, but this is good to see too. We saw that there were, it's funny, there were 4 blue cards in this pack. The other one was the 1/1 flyer, right? And I think that was probably the worst one of the bunch, and it's the one that was taken. Cyclops is pretty aggro. I'm going to take the Befuddle because if we're finding our way to the red-blue lane, Befuddle is going to do more for the deck than the other one. Weight of Memory, not that really the card draw you want here. If we're aggro, we could do worse than the Assistant, but I really don't want to play it. I think I don't want to play Weight of Memory, though. I don't think I'm playing either of these if I can help it. That's the plan. Play neither of these. But if I'm forced into it, that's okay. Same here. I'm going to put this in the board because I don't want to play it. But we could if we have to. Fervent Strike is no run amok, but we'll take it. That's my feeling, Jopester, is that blue is open and the packs just weren't heavy on blue. That's kind of what that signifies. Mirari Conjecture, an interesting rare for the intended instant sorcery heavy blue-red deck. I think we can take that. Other options, hoping to get like a Journey Mage on the wheel. If Trickster comes around, that's great. Trickster does a lot of stuff. Trickster is a great little card, but this is Value Town to the extreme. We don't really have a great aggro shell in any way here. Like nothing about this is so far as great aggro. We've got a Chronicler on 2 that we really want to cast on 6. Flame of Keld that's going in the board. So you can see like we're not that aggro. So I want to play towards the extreme ends of long game power here with something like the Conjecture. And Blink over Divination. Especially with Conjecture, you want to start balancing instants and sorceries. And I think we're doing okay on that front. But yeah, Blink is just great. Looks like we actually have more instants than sorceries, but I'm not passing Blink just because of that. But Divination would balance that out a little bit. Anyway, Blink's great. We're taking it. Fight with Fire, also great. Keep passing these Divinations. Cloud Reader Sphinx also, once again, just really an excellent common. But the removal is good. We're going to take it. You can win games with this too. If we go long, getting back a Fight with Fire. Let's get back a Fight with Fire off Conjecture and then double it. Kicked. Ooh, I got excited by yet another Divination, but then got even more excited by this Merfolk Trickster. And I'm going to take that. The Divinations are flowing. That means not only might some of them might wheel, and also so many have been in this pack that if there's any in future packs, they're more likely to make it to us because the people who are taking these Divinations are not necessarily going to want 7. So I am going to take the powerful uncommon over the solid card draw spell, and over that rare that could tempt you into. Man, now black is opening up a bit. Vicious Offering this late is a real signal, but Academy Drake probably good enough here. Soul Salvage and Vicious Offering though, goodness. I've kind of slipped away from black as a prime concern, though. Green is just all but dead. You like Tetsuko. It's not a wizard. Yeah, I guess it does. I kind of like the Drake, obviously. All right, we'll take the... I'll take this because it's a 2. There's real value in that. And hey, then we got some payoffs here. Pack 2, pick 6, Cinderwind. Would obviously love a Goblin Barrage number 2, but Cinderwind is excellent. Most excellent when you're pumping out tiny wizards and making them buff, but good even just on its own, on her own. I don't think we're going to make it to 8. Reliably enough to consider Slin. Some decks can. This is a format where this is a legit end game plan. But we're either going to take an Unwind or our first Snapper here. We are just somewhat, again, we're not a true classic aggro wizard deck, so let's take Snapper. We may slap an aura on that and call it aggro. Here I'm taking the Cloud Reader Sphinx over the Run Amok. Run Amok does belong in decks like this, but again, we're a little bit more of a control shell. And I'm going to go with that. Okay. A little... Okay, we're not bad. I thought 5 might be thick, but really we just have the 3 5s, so that's nice. We're better off than I thought, and now, look, the Divination's coming around for us. Oh, yeah. Divination number 2 versus Deep Freeze number 1. Deep Freeze doesn't play nicely with the way we're trying to interact. So even though interaction is good, I'm taking the Divination. We want more things like Blink and Goblin Barrage and Fight with Fire that all work with the Conjecture as opposed to other stuff. And we just got all 3 Divinations back. Hello, wide open red, blue. We'll take it. This is starting to look good. Let's get another Adeliz, and maybe some good cheap wizards coming up. I mean, hey, maybe, yeah, this could play. We're kicking some stuff around here. Syncopate, abstractly the best card in the pack, but I'm taking Sulphur Falls. I like casting my spells. We've got a Wizard's Retort, and if we wheel the Syncopate, great. We might, with the way this draft has gone. I don't think the table's too interested in blue. But if not, we'll probably at least get access to an Unwind, which is also playable in the format. I know it's weird for a 3-mana negate to be main deckable, but the decks you tend to lose to tend to be the stuff doing broken late game recursion stuff where you need an Unwind. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to snap off with them, but it's a high risk proposition. You can certainly get it stuck in your hand. Academy Drake, a fine threat at 3 and at 7, but Journey Mage is doing the thing more directly. But again, this is more of an aggro card. Drake has 2 modes. This has a late game, has a late game mode as opposed to just a mid mode. But it's a legit wizard, and Cinderwind cares about wizards. Yeah, I'm going to take the Journey Mage. Happy to pick up a Barrage here, which I'm going to take over like the Relic Runner or the Warcaller. Opt. Surveyor still here. That's crazy talk. Are we even interested, though? I generally am. It's a 2-for-1, even in a 2-color deck. It's not really doing much of anything we're super interested in. We could take an Intervention or an Opt. Even just getting an Opt for... yeah, we could splash the Eviscerate at that point. Maybe it's worth it. We'll take it in case something else comes along. Opt isn't that important. It's not really important at all. Here's a Soul Salvage we could grab if we wanted to splash the black with Surveyor, a Run Amok, Arcane Flight #1 to go with the Snapper. I know that that's a thought of ours, but I don't want to just go chasing after this because we want the pairing. Yeah, Run Amok. We're not as aggro as I'd like to be for Run Amok, but we're aggro enough. Let's take it. We're going to be attacking, right? What? I was going to take the Opt pretty happily, but instead I'll take the Windmill Slam first pick. All right, we need a 2-drop here. I guess Relic Runner over Befuddle or Warcaller. Relic Runner does work with Tetsuko. I'll take the Relic Runner. We got some cuts to make now. Banishing Light still here, or Blessed Light still here is going to be nice for someone playing white. I'm not going to go to splash it at this point. I don't think we need to. Another Befuddle is okay over the Unwind. Here's the Unwind that came back. Another Skizzik to consider. Put it in the board. Weight of Memory to consider, but a second Run Amok starts to support the pressure plan even more. Another Runner over a Warcaller. We do have Sagas, but really I'd rather have the unblockability. 1 toughness is pretty vulnerable, but nonetheless... Well, we got real cuts. Good place to be. We can cut the Fervent Strike is not good enough in the context of this deck. I don't hate it, but I've put it in the board because it's not a super important creature, and not many actual wizards. I think we've got just the 2, really. Let's see. 4. So there's a couple other wizards that I'm not noticing. But that's what I mean. It's not a wizard deck as much as it is... Okay, Chronicler's a wizard. Oh, and then Trickster's a wizard. Yeah, we can put it in and then see... I don't think this is a Snapper deck, and we're probably going 16 land. What's our creature count currently? 14. Yeah, only pumps wizards. But she's still great. And she's also a total lightning rod. mean, I'm in for 2/2 flying haste for 3 in my colors. Maybe we can cut 1 divination. Or 2, potentially. We got 6 instants and 5 sorceries. Cut 1 befuddle, and then we're at 5 and 5. And retort. I like having a hard counter in the format, especially since we didn't wield the syncopate. And ideally, retort is what protects our... we get ahead and then protect our advantage. Only 4 wizards here. We could cut... Let's see, do we want to cut any of these 2s? 1, 2... well, this is really a 6, if we can pull it off. But I'd play it as a wizard if needed. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, I don't love cutting... Maybe we do cut the Surveyor if we're not splashing black. And maybe we cut the Overseer. But maybe it's even... divination number, like we only play 1 divination or 1 run amok. Yeah, Surveyor is playable in any deck, playable for sure, but it's at its worst here when we are not trying to necessarily do expensive things, we're not trying to splash, and we care about wizards and instant and sorceries. Counterspell being called for again. Well, why don't I vote it? Let's poll this. What are we cutting? What are your suggestions? I'm getting retort as an option. I'm going to throw Overseer on the list. If we cut too many creatures, we'll feel a little bit creature light, but you don't need that many when you're drawing like this too. This draws, this draws, this draws twice. So, and Conjecture starts to get it all back. So we do have really good card flow. You want Divination on the list? That's fair. I'm going to put Other now so we can get this poll off. And if you're on Other, just cite your Other. Write in your write-in. Oh, hold on. I've got news on my concert efforts. Let's see. Oh, cool. I'm going to see Spoon, main floor, row E, center. Right on. Spoon! Where's the tick when you need him? It's around here somewhere. Let's check the poll. Retort out. All right. I'm out. I'm with you. Let's try it. And let's name it. And land it. Any special requests? No. Come up with your genius names as I find lands. So a little bit more early blue. We got the Trickster especially. So that's the split there. And Cinderwind, the Wiz. Except we're kind of not very wizardy. What card would I take out? I didn't really have a great choice in mind. I kind of like leaving it to chat. That's a pretty good one. The double blue, the reactiveness, if we're trying to be proactive. Counterspells don't work great with conjecture because doubling it on chapter 3 doesn't do much. So I think that's a fine choice. And yeah, cold case. Let's see if we can find cold looking sleeves. What are the coldest looking sleeves I've got? That's Kaldheim, right? That looks pretty darn cold. That looks very cold, but I don't have those sleeves. All right. Nothing obviously the coldest. I'm going to go with this. Looks pretty cold. All right. How do you think we're going to do? If we played this out ad infinitum until the odds were certain, what would our average win count be? I think it's coincidental. Flashback drafts show up on Thursdays or on Fridays, I guess. Well, like Dominaria came out in the update yesterday. Anyway, I just think it's coincidental. It's not. There's nothing specifically April Foolies about having Dominaria available. All right, we're going to keep this, and if we don't find an alternative, I will Chronicler on 2, even though I hate doing that. I so want to spend 6 on my Chroniclers, but you do what you must with Runamucks in hand. Hey, I just saw the text, Dan. I was just telling chat that. That's my buddy Dan. I went to college with Mr. Becker, and we have enjoyed a fair bit of live music together in our time. Thank you, bud. Looking forward to it. Now, about that Courtney Barnett, Slater Kenny, Fred Armisen. There's somebody else I like too. Who else was in it? Quite a lineup for that. I'll go see that. All right, no alternatives, so we are going to drop the Chronicler. Hey, Happy. We decided to do Dominaria, but I do like how you put it. Happy says, y'all loving this practically free Chaos Sealed? It is like practically free. Highly recommend you do some of that sealed too. It's fun. Hey, good timing for the Cinder Wind here. Unfortunately, not going to do anything to help the Chronicler get in against the Journey Mage, but we can at least play the Cinder Wind, get in for a couple, and then if we untap with her still intact, it's going to look good for us next turn. Oh, thank you. I knew somebody else. Now, is it Waxahachie? I don't want to mispronounce. I like the music, but I've never really had to pronounce the band name. Well, so much for our powerful legend surviving. That sucked. However, we can at least blink the Journey Mage and set them back the equip I like that. They put 3 into equipping this lance, and that's going to be undone next turn. Yeah, great point, Mike, and Happy. The really cheap sealed is wonderful for side accounts. You can grind them for almost no resources. Need a land, and then this double Skizix will be nice. Oh, well. I'm going to divinate looking for land, and then find one and have Run Amok available. If I attack, they'll smell the Run Amok from forever away, but I don't see what else to do, and it's a really nice block because we get to a 4/6 and our Chronicler lives. So we're going to try it, and if they bite, great, and if they don't, well, we're going to do our best to race. And to that end, I am just going to cast this. We got a race. Wasn't going to use this on anything else, and it's just a racing situation. Well, Oppo winning the race with that move. So now, if we can't win the race, what's the plan? Is it just lose? Might be just lose. With 6 mana on this turn, I really don't have anything to do. We can Skizzic plus Run Amok. I can play a Sphinx and have blocks. I guess we're not dead, so let's be not dead and start with a Sphinx, setting up a block. And this Scry is quite relevant. Definitely don't want the land. Befuddle, is Befuddle going to win us anything? Like, we draw Befuddle. Oh no! My buddy Dan just realized that the Spoon concert is a conflict with his anniversary. Invite Mel, Dan. Invite Mel. Well, it's not a well. If they suit up, it's a double chump. So we can't do that. Anyway, back to this. I guess Befuddle gets us a card in a turn, but I'd rather just dig to the card underneath and see if that saves us. And I can kick Skizzic and block next turn. Yeah, Oppo figured it out. That's the real problem. All right. Super dead. Look at that. Aggro versus aggro. Just like we drew it up in Dominaria, right? Well, they had to equip. Until they equipped, we were at least trading with one of them. Not a great start. Boy, we had the play too. That just stumbled a bit against better aggro. All right, another chance to press with some aggro. Goblin backed by a Muck and Befuddle is fine. That's not a card I respect, but unfortunately I don't think they're going to block either. I don't respect it. I think people mostly misplay it. Pants might not be misplaying this, but I haven't seen many decks in the format that can really use this ability effectively. And a 1-2 for 2 is unacceptable, so you really have to be using that ability effectively. Let's see if Oppo is going to show me the way on that front. It's a little confused, but it's not. I mean, it's still basically aggro. It's still just aggro with some late game recursion power. I mean, we're running 2 run-amucks. We better be trying to attack. I could befuddle here, but I just wanted to. Maybe I should have. But against this start, I'm not going to cycle this. I think I'm just not afraid of this stuff. Double Skizzik again. And I could barrage the glider, although I might just befuddle the glider. It saves a little more damage. And then try to find a 5th land for the double Skizziks. I don't want to use a barrage yet if I don't have to, so yeah, that's my plan. Yeah, this is all a direction I never liked to go in the format, but I am not suggesting that it can't do something. At least Oppo clearly has the artifacts to sacrifice. Like, I've seen people run this and like they never even showed an artifact. So fair enough on that front. I'm just gonna kick Skizziks until they're dead. That's my plan. Because I like them to stick around, Rob. You kick it and you get to keep it. So they've got their plan, but Icy, yeah, that's, I mean, I guess the glider, sure, but I'm surprised at this attack. I guess with Trample, maybe they're like, well, they just feel like the barrage is solid enough, but Skizzik kicked with, should get it done here. Manipulator taps 1, and we get in for 8 with the rest. Uncharacteristic Dominaria decks so far. But again, this is what happens when everybody has to actually play all the cards from a pod instead of just what the bots leave behind. Yeah, I felt like challenging them with the Skizzik number 2 was fine, because it was game over or just regroup to win shortly after. Ooh, would love a 2, but we're at, maybe this is just a mulligan. I'm asking for land and I'm asking for early plays. If we get that mix in the wrong order, it could go poorly. We don't even really have anything to conjecture. As I think this through, I'm going to mulligan this. I thought it was a keep, because my normal approach is if any land in the deck gives us a fine play on turn 3, then keep. But Magic's, yeah, changed a bit, and I think we can just do better. I'm going to mulligan this. I like a random 6 better. Yeah, this looks better to me. I'm going to keep, and I'm going to ditch 1 Goblin Barrage so that we're at least divining on 3. If I'd known there was a mountain on top, I'd ditch a mountain, honestly, and have 2 barrages, but I didn't know that, so did what made sense. Not a very aggro start here, but we're getting there on impactful plays. Only, I really need that fourth land. Oh, I have a fourth land, never mind. Good, yay. Fifth land eventually would be nice, but mainly that fourth there is key. Pretty good play from Oppo to make 2 threats because I've got this barrage to take out one thing, but I don't want to use it on a random 2/2. And I can take out the 1/3, but I'm still taking a hefty 4. But my only alternatives are to play an Icy Manipulator. I can't actually use a Fugitive at 1/3 that I guess technically saves more damage because it blocks a 1/2 on the ground, but it doesn't spend all of our mana most efficiently. So I am going to barrage the Courser. It's good enough that it should die anyway. Like, in order to not lose to a bunch of flyers, we're going to need it dead anyway. And if we can find a land off the top, we get to play Sphinx into Sphinx and really start to solidify our defense. But could be a big turning point here. Yeah, that's a nice one from Oppo. That's a great, great play for them. And missing on land, painful for us. And now I'm on Ugh. Now I'm on Ugh. This is just bad news bears. Maybe I'm supposed to not be so greedy on lands here and make sure we hit our 5th land. But really, I'm also being somewhat results-oriented. These are our 3/5 drops. We don't have more than that. So we literally drew the 4 most expensive... Well, we've got a couple of 4s, but three 5s and a 4 is the 4 most expensive cards you could pull from the deck. So let's not overreact to that. But what am I going to do to not die? I guess I just got to kill the Acolyte. It's too much damage, and it needs to die. And if we find that land and they don't have removal, we can stabilize. My real concern is that we finally find a 5th land, drop a Sphinx in an attempt to stabilize. They just pick it off with the plethora of black and white removal in the format, and then we're looking at another 4 damage. Or in this case, another 7 damage. So we found the land, but again, expectations, you know. Maybe I'm actually supposed to go Overseer Fugitive. If we do that, we're resilient to 1 piece of removal. If they find removal and kill the Overseer, then we have a block on the Fugitive and we only take 5. So that's a way to hedge. We also have Icy Manipulator activation now. If we played Icy Manipulator, tap the Confessor, we're guaranteed to only take 4. And then we could try to set up those future, especially if we draw another land after that, we can go Sphinx and tap again, or 2 spell and tap. If this didn't have Menace, I think I'd already have done the 2 spell. The thing that makes me nervous is how it doesn't really stop the Confessor if they can pick it off. So that leaves the Sphinx versus the 2 spell turn. And I will do the 2 spell. Let's put 2 things on board so that we have some blocks even if they have removal. We do have all sorceries in the yard, so right now Conjecture isn't at its best. We'd like to get an instant in the yard before we fire this off, especially since that's chapter 1. At least Oppo's in the tank. Hopefully it's because they have no removal and are trying to assess the new reality and not that they're trying to figure out which of their 3 removal spells to use first. It can be either one, you know. Ah, there we go, unfortunately. Well. But, you know, like, I guess if we play Sphinx, they kill one of the 2/2s and kill this, and they're still getting in for 5, and the Cloud Reader's dead. So maybe this will work out. Courser seems like trouble, and kind of is because of the Menace. We launch it and take 3 for sure in the air. We could block the Pegasus Courser with the Sphinx, block one of these with here, and take a total of 5 and go to 1, and technically still be alive. And then after that, we Manipulator, still have the Sphinx blocks, and then we have Manipulator to work with as well, or another Sphinx. Looking slim to none-ish, but we don't die. We're only mostly here. Do we need a land for our play? No. Our next play is either Sphinx or Manipulator, and both of those have the mana needed to do both things, so let's pitch both of these and look for action. And cross fingers that we only go to 1 here. I mean, that's our best case scenario. They would have to give up the Courser to do that. So if they don't have a clean removal win here, maybe they don't attack. But I would put me to 1. Just keep the pressure on. I'd give up Courser to go to 1, to get me to 1, especially with me fully tapped out. They know that whatever they want to do is going to happen how they want it to happen. Wrong format, Rob. I wish they did, because then I would just report the bug and get a free draft out of it. All right, they're doing it. Going to 1. I like it, Oppo. I think you're doing the right thing here. We need to affect the board double somehow. Yeah, I don't even know how we get there. Especially with them adding. I mean, we needed them to not add to the board and to somehow draw, like, I don't even know. All right, well, I love this format. I'm not doing it very much justice so far. I'm gonna give them the credit for attacking with all. Yeah, nothing but aggro up and down here. Funny. Hey, I got a little aside here. I got back another set of rejections from TCG Player. I don't know if Alexis is around, but I was the last time.
Is today's hectic lifestyle making you tense and impatient?
The last time I got rejections from the sort program on TCG, I was marveling at how few heavily played cards I got back. That everything was, like, truly, I got 5 heavily played cards and about 300 damaged cards back. And I'm like, oh, I guess they just, everything's damaged. But then look at this. Now I got about 600 cards back. Most of them were, and like, this is all heavily played. 100% heavily played. So I don't understand their, like, maybe it's just differences in graders. But here we go. Here's the damaged. This is the damaged sleeve. And this is the heavily played sleeve. It's exactly the opposite as the other time. I just thought that was weird. I thought I'd share, since I shared that first result and thought this was so funny to get exactly the opposite this time. So I don't know what it all means. Well, they're trying to get sciencey about it, Rob. I was talking with a buddy of mine about the lack of grading consistency in collectibles, and how I see that as the next big problem to solve for collectibles is making sure cards get graded consistently every time. And I can find it if you're interested. Or I'll just kibble or Google it. Somebody Google, recently TCG Player introduced a new set of very specific conditioning. In fact, that's probably the word to use. Look up TCG Player conditioning guidelines, not grading, conditioning, because that's what they're trying to. TCG wants to establish a language difference where grading is what you do when you send off a high value card to get graded on 4 numerical categories 0 to 10. You know, that's getting a card graded and slabbed. What they do is conditioning. So they are trying to come up with a system by which you identify, you have a language for all the flaws a card can have, a language for describing the severity of those flaws, and then a mathematical point system for scoring a card based on objectively the presence of these established flaws, right? I love it. I think that's it is really what the industry has needed, is something a little more concrete. And so I hear you. Yeah, it is. I wonder. I'm not going to, but I kind of want to take the, 350 cards they sent back to me as heavily played and just send them back in and see how many of those they regrade as heavily played, right? Versus how many are damaged, how many are moderately played, right? I'm sure it would be different, even with these new efforts at very consistent guidelines. I'm sure it'd be different. Yeah, Rob, that's honestly, I mean, I'm never going to get to it, so I'll say like that I think robot graded cards is the future. We're going to get bot grading eventually, and it'll be machine graded and super consistent and well documented. I think one underrated thing, one interesting thing, if you zoom, I don't know if there's any images of it online, but if you go in super, super close to even just the, if you got hyper zoomed in on the vapor snag and the words in it, you'd actually see the RGB dots underlying the substrate. There's the substrate image, and then there's the text printed on top of it. And the substrate image is like wallpaper, right? It's got a pattern, but the pattern repeats. So we can keep this. And so you can really fingerprint cards with photography. If you zoom in and yeah, exactly. Ink.Rosetta is... basically, if you photograph a card, it's and you get that that substrate versus text comparison, you're totally going to that card is going to be identifiable into the future as that unique thing that existed. Yeah, card fingerprinting, basically. We'll go Relic Runner here. Shivan Fire, strong play there. Trickster. It's got flash. We'll cast that to tap down potential blockers, I suppose, or something, but not the best Trickster use. But I'm also not going to play nothing. And here we at least get Manipulator into Run Amok. You can start messing with Oppo's mana. That's one of the classic uses of Manipulator. We could put an upkeep stop and decide to deny them white mana next turn. And with them apparently stuck on white, not the worst idea, but we're going to Sphinx. Ooh, Befuddle. Fascinating. I'm going to go ahead and send the Trickster. They probably just don't block. I wouldn't. But if they do, we get to Befuddle, Run Amok, Blow Out. And if they don't, we get to follow with Sphinx. So good either way. And we don't want any land. Well, any land. We might want the falls to be able to cast kicked red stuff, but really only have the Gitu Chronicler on that front, and we're more likely to draw a mountain before the Chronicler. Way more likely to draw a mountain before the Chronicler, so I'm just going to count on that as the likelihood. Oh, Skizik, that's another good point. We got 3 then. 3. I was remembering it doesn't have double in the cost. I'm still going to be greedy. Skizik can at least be cast with 1 red. It's not useless. I have a hard time keeping any land in this particular spot with the way this game is shaping up. It's very looking race-oriented. We've got a manipulator. We got race supporters in hand. Two instants, no sorceries yet. Fire Elemental, strong. But we're going to offer the same thing again. Send in and see if they want to block. If they don't, probably going to have to run amok for damage. Can also, actually, I'm going to start with the Befuddle and see if we get a land, because it may impact whether or not I want to run amok here. Yeah, no land. There's the Chronicler. Speaking of greed punished. Can cast that too, though. All right, given this situation and this race situation, I'm going to go ahead and run amok here. This is fine. Let's keep it all alive, keep it all going. And they can crack back. But I still like our position with the manipulator. Ooh. All right, Macy Unicorn changes some math a little bit. Got our second mountain anyway, so greed not fully punished. I could Chronicler for a 1/3 and get back one of these. That's not the best. I can Conjecture and get back a Befuddle and still have Manipulator. That probably makes the most sense. And we're not going to have a sorcery to get back, which is kind of stinky. But what's our... I guess I could just... Maybe if we just want the Befuddle back, I'm supposed to kick the Chronicler, but then I can't manipulate. That's really the point. So I guess the other option is Chronicler, no kick, and manipulate. But that doesn't seem right either. I think at 6 with effectively 3 blockers, we're okay here. We're going to need to trade off Sphinx for a Raider now. We're going to trade off Trickster for a Unicorn. We're going to tap down a Raider, and we're going to take 2 and then get the Befuddle back. Could consider Cereal. Well, this is where Icy Manipulator comes in handy. It's not going to do that much right now. Really don't want to lose to this card. Come on, Magic Gods. Gotta do this. Any other options? It's like the only other option is to chump with the Trickster, eat with the Sphinx, so that we have Befuddle plus Sphinx next turn, and we could Befuddle, Chronicler, and Manipulate, and then we'd have 3 of their creatures, one of them tapped by Manipulator, one of them blocked by Sphinx, and one of them and Befuddled, and one of them blocked by Chronicler. What do you think, Mike? We could do that. Got 2 hourglasses here. I'm going to let gonna think this through. Because the other option, if we trade everything off here, we have this Befuddle and a Chronicler, and it just doesn't quite do that much. But Befuddle plus Sphinx still around really makes a difference in our future decisions. So yeah, I am going to do that. I could even trade here. Probably makes more sense to eat, trade, and take 4, right? Well, let's see. If they got run amok, we'll tip the cap. That's what we're trying to do, so yeah. So funny. Welcome to the long game control format, everybody. This played out like frickin' Zendikar today. That was one of those spots where I think you just have to go for something like that. I mean, the other block wouldn't have gotten it done anyway. So yeah, it was we could, if we'd thought, if they'd showed us the run amok, we probably still block the exact same way and hope they misclick, right? Well, all right. That was quick and ruthless. I'm gonna cleanse the palette with a little sealed here. No, I don't really want to play that deck again. I'm good. See you, Gar. That was nothing special in the Dominary department, that's for sure. This is interesting. What do we got? Sultai Triome, Day of Judgment. This implies that we've got a rare we don't know about yet, because this is a special rare, right? Extra rare. Eerie Ultimatum. This is a back-breaking game winner if you can go long. Soul Transfer. Choose one. If you control an artifact and an enchantment as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Return. Okay, so really 3 mana exile creature or planeswalker is what we're excited about here. This is pretty garbagey, right? Oh no, wait. Yeah. This is not really good. Although maybe, is it good and sealed somehow? Still very clunky. I mean, maybe you could make an argument for it in sealed, but boy, is it clunky. Raider 2/2. If you attack this turn, you may have this enter the battlefield as a copy. Okay. That's interesting. That's cute. No, 5C with red. Obviously, we got to play the Protean Raider. All right, let's see what else we got in here. And I like, I want to look at lands that are not basic, not basics. What do we see here? We've got Boneyard, blue-black, red-white. All right, well, 2 blue-black lands suggest that if blue-black is powerful enough, we've got good fixing to support it. Let's look at what our other rare was. Shouldn't there be another rare? Do I not know how this works? That's weird. I guess I don't know how that works. I guess they're not, yeah, maybe they're not real packs. I thought they were just packs from that set, from each of that set, that was a... All right, fair enough, whatever. So let's look at uncommons then. See what's going on here. Demotion, not good. Air Elemental's fine. Scoundrels. High risk. No. Cut Purse. Guess we're playing that. Oh, you're just fully random. There you go. That explains it. Clear shot. That seems good. Dragon. Spark Mage. Party damage. Vampire. Ooh, Elite Guard Mage. I like a lot. Soul Guide playable. Truly a lot of chaos here, though. Nothing really leaping out as obvious to me. Loaming Shaman is okay. What's the nice green you see? I mean, I like Clear Shot, but this isn't a real thing. This is just okay. Really not loving this pool, if I'm honest. But looks like there's some good white at common. We've got the Wrath. What we got at black? Ooh, black looks like it's got some decent stuff going on at common with Bake and Vicious. We've got the blue-black lands. Let's go Esper. I'm thinking Esper is what we want to do. But maybe I'm overvaluing even the white. You like Abzan? Yeah, maybe I'm only on blue because we have the lands for it. But let's get the let's start with black. I think the black is pretty clear to me. You want to do Eerie? Sure, we can do Eerie Ultimatum. Don't think we have great fixing for that, but I don't know. Have you seen the casting cost on that thing? But whatever, we're having fun. It's practically free. Oh, Elite Guard Mage, I think, is what I'm attracted. And I might just play that anyway. Let's do it. 4-color, why not? If we're gonna be greedy. I mean, I got the double blue right here. Oh, Grafted Growth. Yeah, here, let's play that for fixing. That's good, that's fine. Green, blue, we can play that. Triome. Yeah, it's good enough. I don't know if it's good. You're right that it's good enough. Loaming Shaman doesn't really do a lot, but it fills a curve. Maybe you just want this for that curve. Probably make some cuts there. This is probably going to be pretty big in the late game. I'm playing Pledge Mage in this deck. I don't know. I'll put it in for now. Back over here. Oh, Caryatid, get in there. Yeah. Missed that before. I like Grudian. Now let's see where we're at on curve and really just try to figure this thing out. I think we are going to splash the Guard Mage. Is that worth it just because we have artifacts, though? Oh, that Cut Purse isn't in yet. That should be in. Got one artifact, so that's not really a thing, but this should be in, right? So let's cut like a Loaming Shaman. This is probably a stretch, although we're heavy enough green that we might get there on green, but then it wants instants or sorceries, of which we have, well, we have 7. Yeah, I'm with you, Rob. I think this is too greedy. And does leave us with spots to fill. If we think we're heavier white, I guess, are we heavier white or heavier black? If we're heavier white, at least we have some 2-drops we can run. Like we could throw this in. It's not amazing, but it's 3 power at 2. And that can help us get to Eerie Ultimatum. And we don't mind trading things off here since we're looking to, like, how many permanent? Are we heavily on permanents? I mean, I'm a little concerned at our level of instance, if anything. Like there's Queen's Bay if we thought we were heavier black, which we kind of are. Maybe I'm supposed to like trim the early white. Oh yeah, sure. Check color. This is a good point. Unfortunately for us, nothing too sweet. We could throw in a bike, but I don't know. That seems weird. Doesn't seem like it's doing anything specifically for us. Statue is a funny little win con, but I don't think where we want to be. Oh yeah, pyramid. I was somehow looking at that as that land. Yeah, sure. We can play that. And is that just the deck then? Yeah, I mean, outside of fixing the land. Although it's going to be something like this, probably like this, because this represents, we have caryatid and grafted growth that represent fixing, so we gotta make sure we have at least the 7. Oh yeah, thanks. Boneyards need to go in. Dunk, dunk. Or the two dual lands. Come on. Ugh. Oh, this is already in. I knew I had 2 sources of blue-black, so that was already in. That's in, so then this needs to still go... Well... Is it this? This gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ways to get black, knowing that we need to find double black, and 1 option that just provides the double black. And then 6, yeah, if anything, our white is tough. Yeah, it's all tough. It's all tough. So is there a way towards denser black? What if we cut Hawk, Infiltrator, and Hero and replace that with like Soldier, Centipede, and Blade Blesser, and we've increased our curve a little bit, but we've shifted the focus to black so we can reduce the white to a splash, and then we're just looking to get 2 for the ultimatum and 2 for the day, splashing the pacifism, splashing the combat prof, and kind of double splashing the guard mage. Yeah, Hawk is not doing nothing, but I think I like this better. Is this okay? 5 sources for white to eventually find double white for Eerie and Day? Or maybe we need to go like this. Then we get 5, 6, 7 plus the 8, 9 on caryatid and grafted growth for black. And then in green, still just the 7, which is a little bit for our desire to use green to fix the rest of this mess. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to be greedy on Guard Mage. I think we got to get those types of value targets. Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's do that. Give this a shot. There we go. All 4 colors in 2 lands. What more could you want? A 3rd land. That's what more I could want. Any kind, though. You can give me whatever land you want, deck. It's not a land, but I'll take it. Thank you. Dominaria was 4 quick aggro games and a 1-3 exit. Pretty sure this is not a land. Nowhere on this does it say land. Yeah, it's fine. We're going to draw a land anyway, basic land, and drop the centipede and be fine. Interesting. If we can attack with a centipede. Oh, wow. Sure, my opponent has a Wrap in Flames blowout, because why wouldn't they have a Wrap in Flames blowout? Great. Well, really just a 2-for-1, which is blowout-y, but we can recover. In fact, kind of a question is there whether we're trying to sandbag the Wrath, but we don't have a second white yet, so let's just keep playing stuff. Yeah, I think we'll get value out of Cut Purse here. Especially, let's see what they do with the Crasher. We'll send both. I hope by sending both, they... Ooh, we even have a day of Judgment now that we can fire off. Yeah, we could Reaper, but I don't think they're going to use up... We're going to be able to reap next turn for the rest of their hand. They're going to draw a 4th card, play 1. They've got this. They're not likely to be lower than 2 cards after this. And yeah, we're going to save this. And then we can either Dark Bargain, like maybe we just hold all of this. But let's start with an attack, see what they want to do. I'm going to start with this. Because Cut Purse does some stuff here if they Yeah, they're not even going to block. Okay, so that's fine then. And I am going to be greedy. We're going to Dark Bargain here and let them commit one more turn's worth of stuff to the board. Ideal sequencing here, Dark Bargain into Reaper for the rest of their hand and a Day of Judgment for the rest of their life. Which is to say, clear the board, devastate them so much that we get them dead. All right. Taking 5, blocking the... Yeah. If we were going to day next turn, you would just chump. But we're not going to day next turn. So I'm going to do this. And if they have combat tricks to punish this block, then we probably just will. Couple extra damage isn't nothing, but I think we kind of want... Boy, I wish we had all of this. I guess we keep the spells and ditch the land, knowing that both of these spells are great here. Clear Shot still gets us... Oh, just Clear... Yeah, Clear Shot gets us something after we attack with the Centipede. Yeah, this just means maybe we don't have to ever cast the day. We'll win this game on the strength of our pinpoint removal. And this is instant, right? So yeah, we'll just swing in, kill the Crasher. They got mana. Maybe I'm supposed to let them block and do it on blocks. What do you think? Yeah, it is a rate. All right, we'll go for it. This could work out badly, but I think we try it. Well, I'm gonna do. I really want to, like, if this works, great. If this doesn't work, it's still gonna put a lot of damage on the Crasher and probably still has to like trade. Yeah, so that actually worked out, all things considered. You say after damage, Rob, but the whole point was to try and get through. I did it then because I was trying to clear blockers and get in for damage. If Oppo has no response there, we basically win the game. So it was an effort to just kind of win the game. Now, though, I think we've kind of missed our window to pick off their final cards. I could just... So actually, you know, Soul Transfer on Predator isn't the worst here either. And then we hold up Offering on blocks even. Sure. Well, I don't want to attack. I mean, this is a 6/5. Why do I want to attack? You want to attack first into a 6/5? What's the point there? This is a sorcery. We're going to do this first. Yeah, but that's... I hear you. We're just going to get it this way. We get a Vicious Offering, and all looks good for us. I don't know how Oppo comes back from this. Oh, Dominaria draft was awful. That's why I'm here playing a new event hammer. If I send in the Goriak, either they trade with the Geopede, and then I can decide what to do about the Tactician, or they bounce block with the Tactician and we just kill it. So let's see what they do with an attack. Oh, it's not even a trade, so they kind of have to bounce block, right? Never mind. I was thinking they had a trade option with the 3/1, so this is even better. They kind of are... All right, if they want to do that, that's fine too. Us on 6. Yeah, if they went for the double block, that would have been even better. They went for the no block. So I think we just Reaper their final card here, and then we're still in a good spot. Not 2 cards, but maybe it'll be something sweet. Not even that. Well. I think we know what we're doing now. Yeah, could even cut purse to get this, but we still got a threat in the air. Let's just blow up the world and recover better than them. All right. All right, looks good. Got all of our mana again. I mean, not for the ultimatum, but, you know, a sneep indeed. Pacification Array gets pretty annoying. 2 is a real cost, though, so tends to be tough to use early, but then a pretty fine way to hold off some devastating stuff late. I mean, one-eyed creatures get one googly eye. It makes sense to me. The Ikoria triomes. Eventually we'll see the cycle completed. I think they should get on it and complete this cycle ASAP. Maybe we'll get a 3-color world again soon. Or maybe they'll throw them in a set that's not about 3 colors, but it would surprise me if they went with that. Oh, they are? Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Siriana. Is New Capenna a 3-color set? I'm just curious if they went themed or whether they're just like, look, we got to complete this cycle. Because frankly, if I were in the room, I would have been, look, we got to complete the cycle. I don't care if it's a 3-color set or not. Complete the cycle. So they agree with me on that front. And there you go. It even works out thematically. Right on. I wonder, I kind of want to ask, I'm curious if the tail wagged the dog at all there. They're like, look, we need to complete the Triome cycle. Let's do another 3-color set right after. Bargain, being able to end a turn bargain here is great. Let's take a Cobra and our second black source. Great. Oh yeah, I don't pay attention at all. I delightfully discover what's up when it hits. Bake is an instant we could hold up, but probably want to play a Cobra here if nothing else. Although, I don't know. All right, they're spending their turn tapping. I guess we play a Cobra then. We still have Vicious Offering. I could play the Cut Purse too, but I'm going to try to get greedy here. I believe we'll be able to get value. Wow, somebody played this in limited and hit. That doesn't really happen. Good. I'm gonna send both. If they block the Cobra, fine, we trade there, but I feel like they'll probably just block the Queen's Base Soldier, in which case we get our Cut Purse value. Alright, they're gonna go for that. That's fine. We'll do it this way. And we'll hold up Bacon to a Pie over no value Cut Purse. And check it out, we're close to actually just doing this thing. Like, any land does it, right? No, we can't get a Plains. Oh no, we specifically need a black. I thought we had 3 black sources already, we have 2. But we get another black source and we can do the ultimatum. Unfortunately, it's not very good right now. But we'll try to get it good. So we got plenty of time before we even really want to fire this off anyway. I could use Offering to save Cobra, but I really didn't care, especially given this plan. You know, let's let stuff die. They could do this. Oh, it's the. Sorry, I was conflating this or confusing this with the card that does the Time Twister on the backside. No, it doesn't. Rob was thinking the same thing as I was, I think. They just draw 2 cards. No big deal. It's not the rare. Wrong color, but we're not ready to ultimatum anyway. Weird game, though. As I'm resisting playing this Cut Purse. And, kind of like holding a forest for discard because we don't really need it. It doesn't play the ultimatum and do anything else. So I'm going to sandbag the forest here and continue to hold the Cut Purse. Maybe I'm just being greedy here and we're supposed to play this and have it die and come back as a flying death touch. Yeah, Mike is like, you're waiting too long. That's fair. Especially because it's like, it's not even gonna, like, I'm gonna kill this thing probably with Bacon to a Pie. So, what does this even do? Well, they keep and also, Mike, I mean, I'm looking way long in this game. I'm thinking we might use it on turn 26 after we've already ultimatumed and stuff. That's really what I'm thinking. If we don't think, and if we think that Cut Purse is just going to get him dead and we win the game because we played it 2-1, I just don't think this does enough. And yeah, I'm going to bake the Outrider. Even just offering here, but it doesn't really matter yet. There's our ultimatum mana. That makes me want to run it out. Now that we have ultimatum mana, I can just get it back, right? Certainly offering here for those reasons. They get their scythe a little bigger, it's true, but Well, I think they wanted that trade. They're like excited to build their scythe. That's my read. I'm going to pick that off with the offering after they go for the equip. There's the thing we could have gotten with the purse. But this will work. What about attack with cut purse? They block, and well, we'll see if they might just tap it, and then we can ultimate him after that. Let's see if they want to grant us the attack, since it seems like it's a fine one. Yeah, no equip means they're looking to tap my creature, probably. Let's see. All right, we'll do this. Now they're likely to tap the 3/2, which is fine, because we can send the cut purse and still do the ultimatum play. Interesting, no equip on the zombie ogre, though. They had equip and tap, so interesting choice to not. Yeah, I get it. That's what food giving death touch is why they're going to tap the Blade Blesser, giving us a chance to send in cut purse effectively. All right. Well, they got blue mana up, so no guarantee this even works, but we're gonna try it. And it's not even the best, like this, let's face it, this is not some amazing ultimatum. It gets us 4 things, but that's pretty good. 4 for 1. And 5 for 1 because it kills an ogre. Oh, you get the land too. 6 for 1. Although I don't care too much about the land. Got them all? Yeah. Great. It was indeed just them looking to draw 2. It's a good play, but honestly, let's face it, that's not even close to the most impressive Eerie ultimatum ever cast. In fact, it's probably towards the bottom end of Eerie ultimatums ever cast. Yeah, well, I guess if I got an army of 2 1s and 2 2s and 3 2s, a 3/2 from Oppo could be worse, although they equip that blade and it suddenly looks a lot better, huh? Still, we have 2 creatures that can trade with it if they block, and we can hook up a centipede to one of them and make it a pretty good damned if they do don't situation. Cobra also makes the Blade Blesser death touchy, so we could sack the food if we wanted, but there's no hurry there. No big deal on that front. So now I think I like Centipede on Cut Purse. Send 3/2/2/1 Cut Purse. We leave the Queen's Base Soldier back. Yeah, that's true, but we make him do it, right? They're going to tap it, and then we get in for 5 where they block. Still gives us 2 good attackers, so I like it. And sandbagging lands for discard. We do have Elite Guard Mage that could draw us. I guess we have like Reaper. I'm going to play land because we could end up doing a thing like Reaper 2 cards in their hand and play the Reaper. And I think that type of play is going to be more, you know, is worth setting up as opposed to, I don't know why I did that. I was thinking it would somehow make it bigger, but it really does nothing. That was legal Magic plays. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter, Rob. We can send the chain flail centipede alone or not. I kind of like the 4 power on a thing that if it dies still gives us a 4 power though. 1 top, 1 bottom, worth noting. Oppo finding the action. We're finding some lands. Yeah, really, I should have just unattached if I was going to spend 2 there. Yeah, I didn't even mention that about our Day of Judgment, but this creature equipment with Day of Judgment effects is nice. It's combo for us, right? Wipe the board except for my 4/2 attacker. Array punishes the equip, but it doesn't like when you say array punishes the equipment over over what? How is them punishing the equip better than them just tapping a 4 power creature? It's like just kind of the same. Since this wasn't getting through anyway. Ostensibly tapping punishes equipment. It just doesn't really in this case change much. Oh, very generic card to be running, but at least it's some action and, yeah, make him do some tapping and send in some death touchies. Not you, Cut Purse. Although sending in Cut Purse, having it die and letting it be a flying death touch 2/2 is fine also. And they may be a little nervous about blocking it. So I think we, at 14 in this situation, go ahead and try to make a Death Touch flyer. We're happy if they block that, right? And no need to re-equip if we're not going to move it, if we don't want it on the other creature. Another zombie ogre. Didn't we get one of those? Or they got it back? I must have missed that. Boy, I'm getting rolled in this one. Oppo with all the tools, just when they need them. And there you go. We resolved an ultimatum. Usually you resolve an ultimatum in limited, you win. But as I said at the time, not the most impressive Eerie ultimatum ever resolved. And you're seeing that now. Pyramid, let's get that going and see what we've got on offer. They technically have a tap if they want to use their treasure. Not super useful there. And unfortunately, at 5 toughness, they just need to tap down the Cobra, and we don't have any effective attackers. But let's see if they do this turn, because they need to give up their treasure to do so. At 12, maybe they decide it's worth it. Interesting tap. That didn't have good attacks, so I wasn't going to attack with it anyway. I'll take it. I can even attack with the Goriak and make them worried. They're tapped out now. And it's got Vigilance. Really a free attack. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll sandbag the 1 land, because if we find our Reaper or whatever, we just play the land and still have access to everything. Uro feels like everybody else is getting like cube level pulls in their sealed, and I'm just getting normal stuff. I played a bunch of this yesterday and just felt like hitting bomb after bomb after bomb against my opponents. But Price is right, let me tell you. So I wonder if this is curated for more power. Is it really just all the cards from all these sets, or if they curated it to be a more powerful rare experience? I don't know. I'd be surprised if they curated it. That seems like a lot of work when they could just press the button and be done. But Oppo using Uro to pull away here. I'm not sure what we're drawing to solve our sitch here. Looking pretty grim for the home team. Pacifism could help. Do we need that on a flyer? Flyer, we have no flying, defense, whatever. So it looks like we got to pacify the flyer and drop the Grudian here, and then we're not dead. Let's see if they tap the Cobra this time. No. All right. Keep sending Cobra. I guess I understand. They just want to trade off the 1/1. So yeah, I'm not even going to offer. Is milling our only out? I mean, they're at 8, so that's a really good one. But we have Reaper. We have flyers that could get there, right? If we got Reaper and Guard Mage, they wouldn't be able to tap down both flyers. It's a stretch, but that's how we would win. I just don't see that happening before they're out of cards, but there you go. Can't be blocked, power 3 or less. We do have life to gain, so we're at a virtual 11. Let's remember that. One to any target on attacks. Yikes. Boy, Oppo just coming up with some stuff to make our plan B not the best either. Yeah, I think we need something. We're going to gain 3, and then we need a real action off the top, or we're in the deepest of troubles. Hey, that is the actioniest action I could action for. Trouble is, they just move the Thieves' Tools around, and it does not stop 3 damage. Creature or Planeswalker, return creature Planeswalker graveyard to hand. That doesn't look good. So yeah, we're just gonna transfer Soul on what? I mean, that's the thing again. All like we need to kill all their 3-power creatures, or else the Thieves' Tools just gets us. I guess we should Soul Transfer the Zombie Ogre and hope they don't find land to attack with the Squid, and then that we find another way to deal with the Goblin. I don't know. It's all pretty rough. Yeah, draw first makes sense. Let's do that. I just got excited that we actually found action. There's that Reaper. I'll throw this out, and then we get potentially 2 here if we got to 4 power off the soldier or something. But let's say we had that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They don't have cards anyway, so that doesn't matter. Let's just go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can Soul Transfer and Reaper if we have the black mana. Oh, so I let myself get actually auto-tapped. Oh, we do get both modes. Okay, that's cool. That's right. We have I forgot about pacifism. But I did get auto-tapped to Oblivion here. I didn't need to tap this swamp, and look what it did. Dang it. That could be a difference maker here. So then maybe we do Soul Transfer and get something back and play the Blade Blesser, and that's pretty good. All right, so let's do that. And we got to kill... yeah, we don't... That's true. Oh, that's true. So we can do it both. All right, so let's do that instead. Thank you. Good call. Complicated. And both. And you're going to exile the Ogre. I think that's correct. Because really, the Thieves' Tools is the thing pressuring our life total the most. I mean, Uro I don't care about. Uro's not doing anything we can't beat. Thieves' Tools is doing the thing we can't beat. So if we can't get the tools, we got to get the things that the tools can use to beat us. Probably going after our Death Toucher here with the Charger. At least the 1 toughness one. We'll see what they want to do. They could tap the other one. Oh, they found the land to give attacks. It's not looking good. A little rough. Although that's great, actually, if you want to put that on the Charger. I don't really care about that. I really care about that Squid doing its thing. Let's see how they want to attack. We certainly have some blocks here. Where are they going? All right, they're going for the Death Toucher over there. Makes sense. But we have another Death Toucher. And almost don't even care about the Uro except for the damage, but the damage matters. So given that, let's pile on to kill it, I think. What does this do for us? This is going to kill the 4/5. How do we survive from here? If I don't go for a kill on Uro, I'm chumping. If I could just chump. Right, yeah, let him do it again. I mean, that's how we win, right? Is getting... So I am going to do it. Although, we really need the 4/5 to threaten the other stuff. Seems like the 4/5's not correct. I'm going to do this. Yeah, let's do that. Good call, Rob. Oh, I think our best bet at this point is library. How does that affect your thinking of things? Oh, well, why not Oppo continue to draw just perfect stuff to thwart us? Guard Mage. That'll get us something if we have the blue. Do we have the blue? There's the blue. Okay, we'll keep that. Little life, little flyer blocking. Seems good. Well, I did want to kill Uro to let them draw again, but I just needed Reaper for the rest of their threats. I think if we lost Reaper, we'd be in bad, bad shape. I think this is right. Well, we gain life, so hold, please. But maybe they put something else up. Can they do 8 in the air? I guess they can do 8 with the squid. Yeah, all right. They can't do 8 in the air, but they can do 8. Or now they can. Yeah, I actually took a land there. They had options, shall we say? They had options. All right, gang, I'm gonna play one more and then hook or crook, call it a day, all right? You got a busy afternoon, and this is gonna be my last game on the day. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. If somebody wants to queue up a raid captain, we can find a friend. All right, gotta make this work. A lot of options next turn. But this gives a +1/+1 counter, so we don't want to do it next. We're also not really ramping to anything in this hand. So let's play the Goriak, as this is the one that we want to get a counter. Death Touchers don't really need increases to power and toughness to do their job. Day of Judgment is a nice long game plan here. Where do we want this grafted growth? Probably on a swamp. Well, yeah, I'm just thinking ahead to like ultimatum. Like, where do we want it? Where do we want this to be able to ultimatum in the future? We need 3 black, 2 green, 2. It's kind of like maybe it should even just go on the forest, but I think it still belongs in a swamp. Wish we had something to do on 2 that we wanted. It's pretty cool that when you do a 3 mana or a land or a ramp on 4, you get that ramp right away. And we do have a spell to cast. I just don't want to use it on Merchant of the Veil. Well, we got the Wrath, but Combat Prof and an onboard advantage says keep going. The open mana suggests maybe this will... we're not going to have 2 creatures by the end of combat, but I'm going to make them have it. Hey, if they spend their turn either rummaging or... Yeah, this is great. We're trying to apply the pressure, and they're kind of wheel spinning. They've spent 2 mana to cycle and spent 4 mana to draw some extra cards and take 2 to the face as we're beating down. So if they fail to find removal, we're just going to keep running away with this. And next turn can even go Pacifism Clear Shot for 7, dropping to 4. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I think I like Clear Shot the Merchant since it's got an ability, and Pacify the Berserker and make him spend 3 on the re-equip. Oppo thinks that's a good play. Actually, that was fast enough. I'll play one more game. I figured we'd get a little more action than that. I lied. Sorry, more magic for you. Maybe we'll get a 3rd win and call it an event. Yeah, this feels like a nice gift. I mean, this is the type of economically friendly experience that that they could stand to do some more of. Although it doesn't do any collection building, which is what a lot of people are wanting, is a way to build collections in the process. We'll keep this to a little bit of a, not a hyper fast start, but a good looking one. Offering. Yeah, like, man, I kind of just want to play Boneyard on now. Although then what am I doing on 3? Grudian? Nah, let's just pick this thing off. I'm not going to let him untap. Yeah, it's Phantom. All right, long game plan established. Let's go ahead and play the forest and drop Grudian. Are we clear shotting that? Is it even worth it? Kind of want to hold here and hold clear shot for what they might come up with on their turn. Ultimatum does want us to let stuff die, but I think we don't have to be. We can be a little more careful about it than that. Well, clear shot the 4/4 seems good. I'll do that. More death touch. And I'm going to offer the trade now and then drop the Cobra. All right. Still going to, well, you know, I've got the day. Can't even cast it right now, though. Don't even have a single white, much less double. So let's play Cobra. Woof. Never seen that card do anything. Just did something. Yeah, Day plays into Ultimatum nicely, but neither plays into either nicely without some white mana. Our greedy base coming to get us here. If I send the 2/2, what happens? They just take it, and then they crack back for 5. That doesn't seem great. Neither does playing the cut purse for such little value, though, so I'm just going to hold that, even though, you know, getting into the yard technically for eventual Eries or whatever. But again, right now, these two cards may not as well exist, in which case we need to get more value out of the cut purse than just playing it as a 2/1 here. Oh, how about planes into planes? Just planes into planes, no big deal. Planes into planes, please. Oh god, it doesn't even matter now. All right, well, I think this one is sorting itself out, gang, and it's not looking good for the home team, I must say. Am I supposed to play out here? If I play the cut purse, what is it for? Is it to chump? Is it to... yeah, it does nothing to play the cut purse. I think the only way we get out of this is if we find our land aura that will give us double white immediately, or back-to-back white sources. But really our one shot out is the land aura. And pretty brutal, but yeah, we're just taking and being happy that Greedian is at least holding back 6 power worth of attackers. All right, well, there's planes number 1. This is hilarious, though. If we can survive the next attack and get planes number 2, we're not completely dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so I actually do have to play cut purse, or I'll do combat prof. Yeah, and after that, we just lose to swarming, but I'm still going to try. I'm blocking with Grudion now because, I mean, well, now we have to, but also because we're dead if we don't Wrath next turn anyway. So, of course, we're going to do our best to get it Wrathed. All right, one time, keep it interesting. No such luck. Wish I could show Oppo what they dodged, but we're done. Well, we cast an ultimatum and lost, and then had an ultimatum laugh at our mana base. But I thought that was the right build. That was a decent sealed deck. Oh, I guess I can play another. Fine, you guys win. There's no reason not to. Full count. I gotta take a couple minutes and just finish the dang event. Free magic for everybody. I would adjust your statement to, and this is why we strongly consider the drawbacks when splashing a double pip card. I think it's still absolutely correct to do so here. It's just a known risk we're taking on. Gonna keep this. We got some control tools in Pacifism and some card quality tools in Sunset Pyramid and card quantity. Pacifism not castable yet, but Pyramid plus Dark Bargain. If they don't run us over, this should be all right. God, do you only need 2 wins to get the gold back? I mean, if so, this is just like a day of free magic for everybody. Hey, Bieber fan. Good on ya. Yep, we tried to make you work for it the best we could, but it was never really in that one. Just a really nice deck and really well piloted. Nice. Feel like we've seen you around here. Have you been around here before, Bieber fan? Or have you commented on YouTube? I feel like you're not a stranger. Hey, we found a 2-drop. Let's play a creature instead. Sounds good. Ah, right on, right on. Well, there you go. It's come full circle. Look what I've done. I taught Bieber to beat the crap out of me. And Bieber was like, sure thing. I got you. All right, let's go. Pyramid. Nothing else to do. Eager first year. Are we on defense or offense? With Ultimatum, we're on defense. Let's say no attacks and be happy to block if they send in. Do you know Justin Bieber's a big Fish fan? In one of his recent concerts, they teased a couple of Fish songs in a Bieber show. The Bieber guitarist was totally playing the tweezer guitar lick. Yep. Go look it up, Happy. Go look up Justin Bieber covering tweezer, and you'll get a little in the middle of Bieber. Cheap Valkyrie, that's nice too. We are under some pressure here. No ability to pacify yet, so we're going to Dark Bargain at the end of Oppo's turn. Ouch. Taking 5 this turn at least between Valkyrie and our own bargain. Looking good towards getting to Ultimatum level, but what does Ultimatum even get us? Right now, like nothing. Nonetheless, do we want that Triome is the question. I'm going to say no because of that. We just want action. So Triome, even though you help us get to that Ultimatum, the 2 creatures let us live long enough for that to even have a chance to happen. And give us something to get back with the Ultimatum. Although, again, we are just absent white mana. That's been a little problem here. 5 mana this turn does give us Pyramid plus one of our 3-drops, though. Obviously, we're going to go Centipede over a no-value Cut Purse, but let's start with a card draw. Should have actually looked for a Plains before I played a land here. That was a mistake. Plains incoming? No. All right. So free mistake this time, and we did need to play the swamp eventually anyway, so it's not like playing a 3rd forest puts you a turn off of Eerie Ultimatum, right? In terms of mana count, because it needs 7 exact mana, so you play a forest and suddenly you need 8 mana. Yeah, I can put us... although, if I do anything... I'd still just be drawing cards as opposed to scrying. I get that scrying might help us find a white source faster, but I'd rather just go for card advantage, or even not... I'm not going to do anything, because we have two plays anyway. Hey, we found our Grafted Growth. That's what we were crossing our fingers for last time. That's going to get us our eventual... Ultimatum, but right now we're going to set up for cut purse value Yeah, pretty. This is poet worthy. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's harder for me to find these days, though.
I should have said the poet.
Can't? What do you mean? Oh, right. Never mind. I was thinking we had a 2/2. I was like, darn it. Instead, I just have to get attack for 4 value. That's cool. We've got other plays to make. I'm going to actually put a counter on the Amplimancer since it's a power doubling effect. Actually making it a 3/3 is relevant. Oh, sorry. Oppo. I thought it was on you. I was yammering. And yeah, we'll absolutely throw the forest down, drop the growth onto it. But Amplimancer first. So I'm going to go... Maybe I'm supposed to draw a card. I'm fine with doing this play, so I'm going to play it out. Looks like it's all working out mana-wise. Good sequence. Now we hope they kill a bunch of our stuff. So far, our problem with Eerie Ultimatum has been getting to the ability to cast it before we were actually ready to get value from it. We don't even need a Plains anymore. We're there. We got it. We can cast this next turn if we want. It just doesn't do much. We get a Triome and a bear. No thanks. Oppo in the tank. They got a suspended card here. They're playing white-green. Maybe it's a Wrath of their own. I hope they use it. Do it. Do it. Do it. That's cool. I want them to use resources on putting our permanents into the graveyard. I'm playing Cut Purse. It might give us Cut Purse value. Because, you know, they block the Cut Purse and then we can... Oh, never mind. Is that Exile? All right. I guess you did it. Annoying. We don't even get to get that back. Come on. That's better. All right. I like that. Now, how about just let us draw that Wrath? Huh. Draw a card here. Soul Transfer can kill this thing where Vicious Offering does not. And we're at 7 up against it a little bit here. Let's go ahead and... I'm going to actually sandbag the land, other than not playing black. And I do get both sides, since I have both, so let's get some... Yeah, that's cool. We get our Centipede back, or our Amplimancer back. It does even more damage, right? Although, actually, maybe Centipede... Well, let's do this, though. We get both. What do you like? Pede or Amp? I guess this gets... It's more expensive to get this bigger, but it becomes a legit 4/4 instead of a 4/2, so we'll take this. And yeah, I'll do this in case we want it offering something before untap. Well, they got indestructible right now. Should have scryed for upkeep, but this is okay. We'll start scrying at the end of their turn now. And more land? Sure, I don't know. They don't seem to be playing anything discardy. And eventually we can get maybe double Amplemancer Pump. Yeah, as Radiantware observes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In fact, we're there. It's just, I guess I'm going to do this to make them, you know, spend our 5 to make them spend their 5. And then they really don't have anything they can do turn by turn except keep this indestructible as we do things like Pyramid and Offering. And I will set up a potential upkeep scry. You like sacking this? Yeah, if we were going to do the ultimatum thing. Oh yeah, it's true. Good call. Ultimatum now gets us a pacifism. Was that 2 top or 2 bottom on the Oath Scry? I didn't see. Definitely know we're doing that. Do we want to offer anything here? No, now I think we're going to scry again. Wait. You like kill a 2/2? We can do it on our turn. We got so much mana, it doesn't really matter. That was my thinking. Caryatid doesn't block and kill anything. It gives us a vicious offering that we don't need. I'm going to scry this to the bottom and look for more action, better action than that. That's better action. Now we threaten a pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't get pump and offering, but we can threaten the pump before their attacks and then offering after them. Yeah, in this case, I'm going to block, and offering, and just let, and trade even. Kind of priced into the ultimatum now. But let's do it. I don't even know what we get. But we're doing it. Looking good. Amplimancer's on double activate. They can control it with the Sundew. Ah, well. They get to kill it, it turns out. Dang it. Reaper. I think I have a card even, so we'll keep that. No, I was at 4, unfortunately. I looked. Or I miscounted. That's also in my range, but I counted 4, is a true thing to say. Hey, not a bad swipe there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can send in Cobra with activation and still Reaper after the fact, and Centipede still trades for Indrik and eats the Sundew, so we can still send 2. Taking that trade is fine by me. Reap what we sow and try and win this game. I'm going to put an upkeep stop for the Scry. Preserver is just fine. Has an ability that might be relevant, and or do we just want to augment? I think probably making a Queen's Bay soldier a little bigger might even be better at 10 life, but yeah, let's just do that. Let's do that. Oh wait, what's wrong? Why can't, oh, I'm not in my main. It's like, why can't I cast it? Oh, there we go. My stop. Another upkeep stop set, and hopefully they blank out and we get the exploding P-dubs. Indeed! We did it! I also like googly eyes under the hood. Hooded googly eyes also funny. Well, I got a bunch to do today, but I don't know how long this event is, if it's just April Fool's. How long is it? Well, I'm going to be playing this a lot across all my accounts. Good Magic fun, really well priced Phantom, but hey, you can make your money back plus pretty easily. I like it. Yeah. Could be a good time to create a new account. If you're thinking about spinning up another side account, do it while there's a sweet event like this, and maybe you can get it going, get in a positive direction. Although you can't really get like a huge win, but anyway, pretty easy, low cost magic today. So take advantage of that. Oh, 100 gold max just across. Okay, cool. Anyway, point is, seems like a positive fun value for sure. I'll let you all figure it out. I'm happy either way. I think it's a great event to have offering for everybody. And thanks everyone. Looks like we've got a raid captain for Court of Calls. Let's get it. Thanks for hanging, everyone. I had a good time. That Dominaria draft never happened, though. We'll never speak of it again. See ya. Have a good weekend.